Okay, so I got 2 coats of paint on all the trim. So now I'm gonna start pulling some of the stuff up off the floor to get it ready to start cleaning the floor to put the stain on. The floor has to be super duper clean, and I also have a cleaning solution I'm gonna clean it with before we start putting on any stain. It's a TSP cleaning solution. So I'm gonna sweep it all really good, clean it really good, let it dry, then it should be ready for stain today. Okay, so I cleaned the floor with that TSP. I got on my hands and knees and just scrubbed it because this is just it's a big room, but it didn't take me that long. So it's all completely dried. So now I'm gonna take the shop vac, and I've got one of the ones on there where it scrubs the floor like a soft brush, and I'm gonna vacuum every little bit on the floor. So you wanna make sure there's not really any dirt and stuff on the floor. All right, one important step I forgot is to protect what's painted over here. So I'm gonna put a quick plastic, a little piece of drop cloth to protect any of that spray, just on these walls. This is still covered up. This one, she cannot stand the camera. Just so that that stain don't hit the white that we've already painted and ruin all that.
All those.
Okay, so I have taken just a sprayer that we have that only has had water in it prior to today. And I mixed up, this is the color that we use. So when we did the living room floors years ago, we used Arctic Stone and then a mixture of one that's also called Espresso. So you put your lighter colors on first, so then it gives it more of a layered look whenever you end up doing the 2 different colors. So not supposed, and I'd like to tell you I remember exactly what ratio I did when I did our living room floors and bedroom floors years ago, but I don't, but it'll blend enough. So you're not supposed to, it can be diluted up to 4-to-1 with water. So I did this one, 4 cups of water and 1 cup of stain. You go in a circular motion, trying to avoid a pattern, if he's making fun of me for talking. And then I'll go and I'll just kind of hit with the darker color just around. You let it dry 4 to 6 hours, and this floor will be ready for polyurethane coating tonight. So we're super excited about that. So here we go. The fun thing about this is there is no set pattern, and depending on what the concrete and mix and stuff in the concrete, you'll see that some of it will just take it up differently. So this will have to dry, so it'll still look different than this. So I really shouldn't even mix up 4 cups. There's probably 2 cups left in here. So I'm gonna go mix up the darker color. We'll come back in, put it in here, and I'll splotch around the darker color. And then we're gonna leave it alone for about 4 or 5 hours, and it should be all dry and soaked in by then. And I will then clean it and vacuum it one more time to get any dust that might have fell on it or somehow. We have 3 kids around here on the farm, so who knows what might get on it. I'll vacuum it one more time after it's dry, and then I'll do a roller, and on my hands and knees, I'll roll it. And I'll do that. I'll probably put 3 coats of water-based polyurethane on it. I'll show you what kind I use there. I get it from Lowe's. And once all that's dry, then probably tomorrow, I'll probably put 2 or either 3 coats of wax on it. And we'll take all this stuff off the windows. And this room will be almost done, except for putting up the chandelier. And that won't take long at all. So, meanwhile, Roger got a whole load of M10 here, so he's packing all this down. This will all be ready for the concrete whenever he decides to do that. So. Color we use, and this is that H&C again. It's a water-based decorative stain. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of this. Ready?
Yeah, I've been ready.
Okay, you got me in there? All right, so I've got my darker color mixed up now. I only mixed up just half a cup of stain, so 2 cups. I did it still 4-to-1. So I'm gonna tiptoe in here and just put this just kind of in different places. Again, there is no rhyme or reason to this. You just kind of do it. It's gonna take up that stain differently anyway. So, I mean, all you're doing is still just kind of hitting in a circular motion. Wherever my feet touch, that's where I'll wind up putting a little bit. But you can already see. Effie, can you zoom in and where some of the stain is gonna uptake, no matter where you put it, it's all gonna end up looking a little bit different. And you'll put it somewhere and think it's gonna be a thing, and it'll do its own thing sometimes with its mixing. There is no right or wrong little pattern. I'm gonna try to get right there kind of up next to the bricks.
I'm trying.
You're fine. You keeping up with me?
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't really want to step in that. I kind of like the way that'll end up looking. I don't want my feet in there really. Okay.
Shine.
Well, it looks shiny right now because it's wet, but it already looks better. Look at it. So my floor is dry on the inside, my concrete floor. So I am about to get ready to go ahead and put my first coat of sealer on the floor. I'll show you what Roger did. He's gone now, but he's got all this. I'm gonna flip the camera around. So all this is, I think, almost ready for concrete. Wait, I think he's got it covered up. I think he does have to get a little bit more of the crushed stuff because it's still about 1 inch off or so, but it's getting close. So yeah, I think all that's packed down, but then he's got to dig something else out. So the porch, whereas before it was just from here to here, just all up underneath this area. So now the porch is it's gonna come out this way. So that's about a good 6 feet. And it's gonna go, but there will be a roof that comes over this, like a tin roof that's gonna be on the front. And then of course up here, you know, I think I've told y'all before, there'll be dormers up here. And then the front door is gonna be a double front door. And then the brick won't be red, it'll be, I think, a light gray color. It's gonna get lime washed into a light gray. But anyway, so the porch goes all the way down the front. And then the carport, it will not connect to the carport. Probably I'll end up doing like some sort of stepping stones or something around to the driveway part. Oh, Effie's decided she's...
I don't know if this is close to the Cullens.
Okay.
And I'm probably gonna be real warm and toasty.
Okay.
I'm already sweating.
Okay. Do you know where he's at?
Yep, he's by the climber.
Do you know where that's at? Okay.
He showed me when he got his boat today.
Okay. So anyway, that's how long the porch is, and so it's starting to take shape there. Effie's rose garden is surviving, so it'll end up, when the garage is closed, we'll have a big area here that we'll end up putting some more roses, maybe some knockout roses, some other stuff that stays green. So you see where some of the stain has been. Still gonna have some of those little blocks where that tile was on the floor, but I still just don't think it'll matter once it gets polyurethane. There's no way to take that out. That's just where it was. So that's just not gonna bother me. I'm not gonna lose sleep at night because you can see where a couple of the squares used to be. Time I get a table in here and furniture in here on that brick wall, it's just not gonna be that big of a deal. So anyway, this is it. I'm gonna vacuum cleaner up. I'm gonna give it a quick vacuum over again. I've got my sealer here. That's what I use, is this concrete sealer wet look. It's another H&C product. Fantastic. So it's gonna go on with just I've got a 1/2 inch nap roller that you can tell this is like kind of a terry. So I get a brand new one for every one of these, unless I'm like, for the next coat, I'll still use the same one. But if I was doing a whole different room, I would just get a brand new one. So I am gonna set this up and get started. They make handles for all this, and that you can get a handle and you can, that's my brush. You can get a handle and you can not have to be on your hands and knees, but I guess it doesn't bother me too much right now for me to do that. So if I was doing a whole, I think when I did like my whole living room and everything, I didn't do all my hands and knees. But for just this, so we'll see if I can keep this paper here. And then I do have a brush. I do have a brush with me too, just so I can make sure I get these bricks up here really good right next to that window. So I'm just gonna put still got the tape and everything right around the edges, so that's good. There are a lot of creases in these bricks. I'm just gonna let that polyurethane just still, I'm gonna put it on there, not really worried about if it sits there. If there's a little group of it, it'll eventually dry and kind of harden, so not a big deal. But this is a water-based polyurethane. And you can kind of already see, so see the difference in the floor here. And you can kind of see some crackles, and there's light and dark. So they have a thousand, probably not 1,000, but they have a ton of different shades. So if you don't like a particular combination, if you want color, you can put color in it. I think earlier in the video I said, Effie asked, what about the turquoise? When we did the living room floor, I took just a teeny bit of hint of turquoise. It wasn't a lot, nobody ever noticed it. And there would be like a hint, like a little sea sponge that I would just dot kind of here and there. I'm not doing this in here now, just because I just really want this just to be more natural colors, but you could certainly have done it wherever and do whatever you wanted. So you can tell where, even in some of these areas where it didn't look like it was a whole lot different than the stain, you can still see once you get the stain on there, you get a lot of that stuff that just pops through. Like if you want it to look just like glass, then you might as well pay somebody to do it, but this is just perfect for us. That's that. So we'll wait for this to dry. I need to look back at the thing. I think it's only got to dry for, I want to say about 30 minutes, but I'll look back and see. It's got to be completely dry. I won't have time to get on another coat before I go do fire starter stuff because it's already 5:15. So anyway, I'm going to flip this around, show you what it looks like right now, and then I'll meet you back here. This is going to be, have all the coats of polyurethane on it that it needs before I go to bed tonight because I am ready to eat again. So everybody's in the bed except for me. Floor's all dry. So now I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and put a coat of wax on it. I'm gonna see if I can stay up for 30 minutes and then put a second coat on it before I go to bed. I'll probably end up putting 3 or 4 coats on it. So this is this Zep High Traffic Floor Polish that I used in our bedroom, and I really, really like the feel of it. This feels good, but still not as good as it does when the wax is on there. So table, we turned it up right. It's had 2 coats on the bottom, still got to be touched up once we turned it over, just from the way the flow of the paint goes. So cross my fingers I can work on that tomorrow. Overall, I feel like we got a pretty good bit accomplished. We almost have a dining room, and that's a big accomplishment. I cannot wait to get my dining room table done, to get these floors done, and to rip this stuff off of here and see what the dining room really looks like with the view of the pond. I think we're going to be super duper happy with it. Cross our fingers, maybe that can happen tomorrow. If you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, because sometimes I'll do sneak peeks of things that are coming up on our videos that we've already accomplished, and that'll probably be one of them for sure. Me and Colin's got to install a thing on my van tomorrow, because I'm going to pick up an amazing chair on Friday from Crate and Barrel in Atlanta that I found on clearance that it won't fit in my van. So I need to pull a U-Haul trailer, and it has a towing hitch but not light. So Colin's gonna help me do that. Ordered a kit. YouTube video makes it look pretty easy. We'll make our own little YouTube video and see how easy we can make it look, or hard. I'm gonna get this floor polished and waxed. I'll show you what that looks like. 1 coat of wax. Hey, good morning. So we're up and everybody's eating breakfast, get ready for school. I stayed up last night and put one coat of wax on here, but I'm weak. I don't say it good as I used to. So I only got one coat on, and then I wanted to let it dry completely. You can come in closer, Effie. So with the shine, this is dry, but you can.
It's a little wet.
Well, it's because I wiped some sand off there earlier, but you can see just some of the crackle and the stain that gets in that concrete. It just makes it look a lot different. So now the way that I'm putting on the wax, you can mop it on with a big mop, but again, I just don't want to get a whole big mop and get in that. So I just pour like little splotches on and just stay in a line. I'm supposed to put it on like a figure 8, so I just do my hands back into it. I use these lint-free claws, and then I can just toss them away. So I'm just working in lines, getting back. We'll put at least 3 coats on. The bottle says you can even put up to 4, so I'm not sure if I'll do 3 or 4. But it looks fantastic. Cannot wait to get all this off the table. I'll give you an update on the table in just a minute. I'll have to put another coat of paint on it, but forgot Carson has a basketball game this afternoon, so I'm not sure I'll get to that this evening. Our goal was to have a dining room table by Tuesday, but I don't know. So anyway, I just want to give you a quick update this morning while I'm working on this floor. Love some of the detail. You know, we had places where when we were taking up the tile that sometimes it would chip up the tile a little bit, or chip up some of the cement. And I said at the time we could come back and fill in those holes, or the more I thought about it, the more I decided we just need to leave them. And this is why. Like, I really, truly, look, this is not super rough, but this is just a refinished cement floor. Hey guys, I'm gonna be driving while I'm talking, so I'm not gonna be looking exactly at you. I just wanted to touch base. I am on the way home from the hospital. So if you have watched enough videos, you know that I am a certified nurse midwife, but I don't take call anymore. I quit taking call. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be 17, 18, was it 4 years ago? It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but I think it's been about 4 years ago. And quit taking call because I was working an absolute boat ton, and my kids needed me more than everybody else needed me at 2 o'clock in the morning. Some of the best friends I have in Columbus have been made through taking care of them through pregnancies and delivering their babies, and it is a precious, wonderful event to see a baby and to be on this side catching a baby, on this side of a mama. But there were lots of times I was working so much I'd wake up and I was exhausted or grumpy because I had been up all night the night before. And this is kind of an example. I mean, I'm going to be getting home a little before 1 o'clock in the morning, but it was a patient that had midwives at the practice I used to work for before and really wanted me to deliver her baby. And I told her, I said, I can't make any hard, fast promises, but I will do my absolute best. And she needed to have a baby today or this evening, and had just a fantastic, quick, natural, unmedicated, birth, and I'm glad that I could be there with her. So good way to end the week, and to start my week. So to end the weekend video and to start my new week, maybe I should say. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little highlight into that. I'm so lucky to be able to work for a job, work for a hospital, and I work in the office, through the week, and see lots of reproductive age women all the way up through menopausal women for annual exams and stuff. If you're a woman, when's the last time you went to your gynecologist to have your pap smear? A lot of us are behind. I'm not always the greatest at keeping up either, and I'm there every day. Can't do my own though, but put yourself on the to-do list. Make it a priority. It's one of my soapboxes. As mothers, we're so busy taking care of everybody else that we don't take care of ourselves as well as we need to. But I am so blessed to be able to work in the office and to be able to serve that part of the community and still maintain privileges at the hospital, so that I can hop over occasionally and help one of the doctors, or go in with one of the doctors for a C-section, or to help catch a baby earthside. I thought this would be crazy easy just to whip it down. It's kind of not, because some of the tape kind of gets a little bit stuck behind some of the grooves, and then there's little bits of tape, and then there's paint. I'm trying to tell her I don't want to peel the paint off the windowsill, so I'm thinking, it's not like that. Like, voila! That's all I was hoping for. But it'll be gorgeous in the morning. Alright, so we're still in the process of getting these chairs done. Got one of them finally on there last night. And already the windows need a little cleaning before I take them and tape.